Hello and welcome to another session of Let's Learn German. I hope you revised the previous contents and you are ready to learn something new in this session. If you remember, in the previous session we did prepositions and we did certain accusative prepositions. In this segment also we are going to do the accusative prepositions gegen and entlang. As you know, prepositions have different meanings in different contexts, and just like that, gegen has also got different meanings. Now, let us look at the meaning for the preposition gegen. In the first context, it has the meaning in terms of direction for place and time. For example, here we have a sentence: Der Bus fährt gegen einen Baum. Baum, you know, means tree. Now, this sentence means the bus drove against a tree or it struck a tree. Now, as you can see here, I have written the article einen, which is the indefinite article in accusative. You know that einen is derived from the definite article der, which is for masculine, and because of the presence of the gegen, which is an accusative preposition, der becomes den and ein becomes einen. Another meaning which gegen has is in terms of time. So, here we have the sentence Ich komme gegen 8 Uhr. You know that we have for time the preposition Well, with that we say exactly the time. When we say Ich komme gegen 8 Uhr, that means that I will come around 8 o'clock. So, with we precisely mention the time, whereas with gegen we do not precisely mention the time. Another meaning which is an abstract concept is the use of the preposition gegen in context to show oppositions or against. For example, sie ist gegen Korruption, she is against corruption, or das Medikament ist gut gegen Fieber, this medicine is good to fight against fever. So, as you can see, gegen has got apparently three meanings which can be used in different contexts. Now, coming to the last accusative preposition in this segment, we have the preposition entlang. Entlang basically means along. However, there is a slight difference in the position of entlang. If you remember, I have told you that there are certain prepositions which may change position. Well, entlang is one of them. You know that the prepositions are always before the noun. Well, entlang is one of the preposition which stands or stays or comes after the noun. So, we have wir gehen den Fluss entlang, where the preposition is at the end, though the influence of the preposition on the noun is visible, where the article der Fluss, which means the river, gets converted into den Fluss. So, in spite of the change of position of the preposition entlang, its influence on the noun remains. So, you can see gegen with its multiple meanings and entlang with its change of position are the prepositions which are basically used in accusative case, apart from the previous prepositions which we have done. Let us do an example to show the use of gegen and entlang in certain sentences. Now, let us look at sentence number 1. Meine Freunde kommen 19 Uhr. Since we know that we can use the preposition gegen for any aspect of time when it is not specific, we write the answer gegen 19 Uhr. In this sentence, Straße sind viele Bäume, we know that we use the preposition entlang. die Straße. So, we have the answer, entlang die Straße sind viele Bäume. In this sentence, ist dieses Medikament Erkältung? Erkältung means common cold. Now, medicament means medicine. So, we know that medicine, if we associate with this illness, common cold, we need the preposition gegen, which shows against. Now, sentence number 4. Sie ist unserer Meinung. You know that unsere is the possessive article, Meinung, which means opinion. Sie ist, and we know that in the abstract concept it shows opposition, so we use the preposition. Now, let us look at sentence number 5. Wir gehen Fluss spazieren. Now, here we need the article den, which is derived by writing the preposition entlang. We know that with accusative there changes to den, and entlang's position, as I have told you, comes after the noun. Now, in this sentence, der Bus fährt Gebäude. Now, it is actually against in terms of place, direction. So, gegen, you know that das remains thus in accusative, we retain the article gegen das Gebäude. Now, let us look at the answers given by the student and let's see if the answers are right or wrong. Das junge Team spielt gegen das alte Team. Here the student correctly identified the preposition as gegen and also wrote the correct article, knowing that das remains das in accusative and gegen, which has the meaning against. So, the young team plays against the old team. Now, in sentence number 2, die Kinder laufen den Strand entlang. Here the student correctly identified that the preposition is entlang, which goes towards the end, and based on the preposition, the student correctly wrote the article also of the noun Strand, which is der Strand, which means the beach. Number 3, die Gäste kommen gegen 20 Uhr. Here also the student correctly identified the preposition as gegen, which is also used for the concept of time in an unprecise manner. Was nimmst du gegen Kopfschmerzen? Kopfschmerzen noun, which means headache. Now, the student correctly identified that here it has got an abstract meaning, which means against. So, the student wrote the correct answer as gegen. Die Kinder laufen gegeneinander. Here also the student correctly identified that the preposition gegen should be used against along with the word einander, which means against each other, which one can put together, which means the children are running against each other. Now, in the last sentence also the student correctly wrote the answers. Entlang den Fluss gehe ich gerne spazieren. Here also the student correctly identified that the preposition entlang comes, then comes the article den Fluss gehe ich gerne spazieren. As you can see, here in this sentence we have the preposition entlang, which is before the noun, and in sentence number 2 we have preposition entlang, which is after the noun. So, entlang usually is after the noun, and at times we can also keep the position of entlang before the noun. Now, in this segment we are going to do prepositions with the dative case. In dative case we have predominantly 9 prepositions. Now, let us look at the prepositions. Number 1, aus, bei, mit, nach, seit, von, zu, ab, gegenüber. Let us look at the prepositions once again. Aus, bei, mit, nach, seit, von, zu, ab, gegenüber. Like accusative prepositions, dative prepositions also have different meanings in the different contexts. We would look at each prepositions and learn what are the different meanings and contexts. Let us start with the preposition aus. The preposition aus is predominantly used to show the source of a noun or a pronoun. It is used, we can use it in the context of English, let us say out of or from. As you can see, I have given here close to 4 meanings in which aus can be used. Well, this is only a rough aspect of the preposition aus. Let us look at the first context. Aus can be used in the context to show the origin or the place or area. If you remember, in the first session we did the sentence ich komme aus Indien. Well, here it is, ich komme aus Indien, which shows that I come from India, that is the origin or the area or the place to which I belong. Now, aus is also used the source from an enclosed place or area, which is like a closed area. So, I can say ich komme aus dem Zimmer. We know that Zimmer, which means room, carries the article das, and in dative das becomes dem, and because of the preposition aus we have here the article dem. Again, another sentence, ich trinke aus der Flasche. We know that nouns which usually end with e carry the article die, Flasche means bottle, and here we have die converted into der because of the preposition aus. Another meaning which is used for the preposition aus is to show the source of a material. For example, der Ring ist aus Gold. The ring is made from gold. Now, we can see here that aus is used here for a noun to show the source of a product. Another aspect of aus is to show the origin of any noun in terms of time. For example, das Bild ist aus dem Jahr 1900. We know that the noun Jahr or the year carries the article das, and with the preposition aus it changes its case and becomes dative and becomes dem. So, did you find the preposition aus difficult? Well, it is not difficult to understand if you focus on the context as well as the meaning of the preposition in each of the sentences. Now, to make it easier, let us do some sentences with the preposition aus. Now, let us do some examples for the preposition aus. Now, in sentence number 1, sie geht, now in bracket we have the article das and the noun Haus. So, to talk about the movement from an enclosed space, we use the preposition aus, and we know that das becomes them in datives with the preposition aus. We write aus dem Haus. To show the origin of a person, we have to use the preposition aus. So, we have the sentence here, meine Lehrerin kommt Mumbai aus Mumbai. Again, here we have the sentence, die Kinder kommen die Schule. To show the origin from an enclosed space or area, we use the preposition aus, and as you know, die becomes there. So, we write the article there, aus der Schule. Kommst du gerade das Büro? Again, an enclosed space, bureau means an office. So, we use the preposition aus. Then we convert das into them in dative. Now, in sentence number 5, we have this statement, das Baby trinkt Milch die Flasche. Now, this is a source. So, we write again aus and then die Flasche, die becomes there. Trinkst du Cola? Again, the source we have to show. For that, we have the preposition aus, and then as you know, die becomes there, like in the previous example. Aus der Dose. Dose means a can. Now, let us look at sentence number 7. Das Bild ist das Jahr 2000. Here we are using the preposition aus in terms of time or origin of. So, aus dem Jahr 2000. Now, let us do an exercise with the preposition aus. Here we have few sentences and words. Now, we have to use the preposition aus in this sentence. Let us look at this sentence. We have here 4 elements, du die Universität gerade kommen, and as you can see at the end we have a question mark. So, we have to formulate this sentence as a question. So, we have to first put the verb, as it is a yes or no question. We have the pronoun here du, so we conjugate the verb as kommst du. Here we have another adverb gerade, which means right now. So, we put the adverb. Now, we should put the preposition. The preposition you know comes before the noun. We have the preposition aus, and you see here die Universität, the university, the article die is changed to there, and then we write the noun. So, we have the sentence now, kommst du gerade aus der Universität. Now, let us look at sentence number 2. Here it is a statement as indicated by a full stop and not a question mark. So, it is not a question. So, we start now here with the sentence. We have the noun here, which is the nominative, which is meine Familie. Now, we have the verb at the second position. We conjugate it according to the third person singular, kommt. Now, we have another noun here, die Schweiz, which means Switzerland. In German, the country name Switzerland is always attached to the article die. So, we write meine Familie kommt aus der Schweiz. Now, in sentence number 3, we have 4 words and at the end a question mark and also a W question. So, we have to make a W question here. You know the W question, we have the W word at the beginning. So, we have was. Now, we need the verb here, which is at the second position, and here we have the pronoun du. So, we conjugate the verb according to the pronoun was trinks du. Now, again we use the preposition aus and then the article there, which is from the, and here we have our question, was trinkst du aus der Flasche? Now, in sentence number 4, das Regal Plastik aus. Here we know that aus as a preposition can be used to indicate the source or the material of something. Something is made out of something or something is made from something. So, we know that we have here two nouns. We have this noun das Regal, which means a cupboard. So, we have das Regal. Now, we need the verb for that, which is ist. Now, we write aus Plastik. So, we have now the sentence das Regal ist aus Plastik. As you can see, we have to indicate the verb here ist, which is from the verb sein. So, sein gets conjugated to ist and then we have the sentence. So, I hope with this exercise you were able to understand the preposition aus in a much better manner, and I hope you would continue to revise the prepositions which we have done in this session as well as the prepositions which we did in the previous session. Please remember that apart from revising the preposition on a regular basis, you should also revise the articles and the plural forms of the noun on a regular basis, because without knowing the articles and the plural forms, it would be difficult to learn the prepositions in the easiest of the manner. So, please revise all the contents from the previous session, and as I always say, auf Wiedersehen, tschüss.